Greetings, friends. I'm your fellow film fan, Jimmy Overton. I also have the honor of being the ambassador host for Monday at the Movies, a weekly series of classic films presented by the historic Wayne Theater, Ross Performing Arts Center, right here in Waynesboro, Virginia. We're very excited to announce that the theater has reopened under the restrictions of Phase 3 from the Governor of Virginia for Monday at the Movies. And it's been a lot of fun over the last few weeks, reuniting with some of our fellow cinemaniacs and seeing the films back up on the big screen once again. All safety precautions concerning mask, contact, occupancy, etc. are being strictly followed. So you're more than welcome to come and join us in person on Mondays for the 5th annual Audience Choice Season, which is underway now. We'd be glad to have you, and you can do so confidently knowing that the theater is following all of these safety precautions very strictly. For those of you who aren't quite ready to come and venture out, we invite you to follow the movies from the comfort of your home, as we've been doing over the last few months while the theater's been closed. Many of our fellow Monday night film fans have been staying current with the preempted films by simply watching them and putting them into the queue of Amazon Prime, Netflix, Hulu, Vudu, a number of different online streaming film services that are available to everyone. And so by all means, stay current with us, but we do invite you to come and join us once again at the historic Wayne Theater. It's very exciting to have the theater reopened, and they're very, very pleased to have you. The film that's scheduled for Monday, August the 3rd, has been scheduled for a couple of different reasons. Aside from being an incredibly entertaining motion picture, the musical Little Shop of Horrors was scheduled to go on stage right at the time that the quarantine was announced. And so sadly, there was a lot of time and effort that had been expended by Hank Fitzgerald and his cast to get this show ready, and it was right at the gate to come out, and unfortunately it was canceled. So out of respect to that bunch, a very talented group of people who have presented the very successful musical stage productions over the years at the Wayne, we're going to present the motion picture of Little Shop of Horrors from 1986. Now this is not the original Little Shop of Horrors, which was a very funny, very entertaining, super low budget, campy B-movie from 1960, directed by Roger Corman. This is like a lot of films, years afterwards, it was made into a hit Broadway show, and then later on typically became a motion picture. It was also very successful. So this is Little Shop of Horrors, the musical, from 1986, directed by Frank Oz. Great cast: Rick Moranis, Ellen Greene, Vincent Gardenia, Steve Martin, Jim Belushi, John Candy, Christopher Guest, Bill Murray. Very, very funny people in the cast of this film. As part of the film's, I don't want to give it away in case you haven't seen it, but the film deals with a large, very dangerous and voracious carnivorous plant that is nurtured by young Seymour, played by Rick Moranis in the musical. He dubbed the plant Audrey 2. As part of the promotion for the film, Audrey 2, plant was occasionally interviewed in character by the press. This was a big prop that had been was very carefully constructed and really, really beautifully done. On at least one occasion, the interview concluded with Audrey 2 eating the interviewer. The puppeteers who designed and operated Audrey 2, and by the way, the voice of Audrey 2 was provided by Levi Stubbs, the incredibly talented lead singer for the Motown soul pop group The Four Tops. The puppeteers who designed and operated Audrey 2 were veterans of the Jim Henson Company. One of the operators was Brian Henson, Jim's son. There's a very important scene in the dentist office between Bill Murray, who plays a patient, and Steve Martin, who plays a dentist, and they quite nearly steal the entire film. Very, very funny. The young girl leaving the dentist office before patient Bill Murray enters is also Heather Henson, daughter of Jim Henson, the head of the puppeteers. Bill Murray's scene in the waiting room was filmed as scripted, but there was virtually no dialogue when his character actually got into Steve Martin's dentist chair, except for a few cries of pain and ecstasy. Over the course of the 2 days that he filmed, Bill Murray very brilliantly kept ad-libbing various lines and things he was saying. Presented a great challenge to the editor to assemble a coherent version of the scene, but it's a great, great scene. It supposedly took Steve Martin 6 weeks to film all his scenes. He contributed ideas such as socking the nurse in the face. Originally he was to knock her out with his gas mask and ripping off a little doll's head. This is the only, I don't want to spoil it to you, it's very, very funny. The only movie in which comedy legends Steve Martin and Bill Murray appear together. For that reason alone, it's worth seeing. The filmmakers originally offered the role of Audrey, this is the young flower shop girl upon whom Audrey II, this plant is named, for whom it's named. They originally offered the role of Audrey to pop singer Cyndi Lauper, who was a very, very big pop star in 1986. Madonna was also considered for the role. Lauper really wanted to do the part, but just couldn't commit due to her recording and touring schedule at the time. So the casting went to the person who'd established the role on Broadway, the only person from the Broadway musical production to make it into the film. This is something that's very, very frequently done when a hit Broadway show is prepared to go onto the big screen in movie theaters. Rarely do the filmmakers include a significant number, perhaps one or two, from the Broadway show. It's a little strange to understand because if it's been a hit Broadway show, you'd think that the same people would be the ideal persons to take their characters to the big screen. It doesn't happen very often. So they finally settled down to Alan Green, who was Audrey I, and the only member, as I said, of the off-Broadway cast to appear in this film. When she originated the role in 1982, it was her idea to wear a blonde wig over her brunette curly hair. Howard Ashman, who wrote the film, originally saw Audrey as a brunette based on actresses Jackie Joseph's look in the original Little Shop of Horrors, 1960. The original production of Little Shop of Horrors premiered at the WPA Theater in New York on May 6, 1982, before transferring to the Orpheum Theater, where it ran from July 27, 1982 to November the 1st, 1987, a total of 2,209 performances. Its Broadway debut was 17 years later at the Virginia Theater, where between October 2nd, 2003 and August 22nd, 2004, it played for 372 nights. Big, big hit show. Amazingly, when this came out in 1986, the film version of Little Shop of Horror, the musical, it was the most expensive movie Warner Brothers had ever produced. This is Warner Brothers. Think of those movies. This was the most expensive film that had ever come out of the studio. With a budget of $25 million, relatively low by big blockbuster budgets today. It even surpassed the other big expensive hit movie from 1986 from Warner Brothers, Aliens, which had a budget of $18 million. It was nominated in Academy Awards for Best Effects, Best Music, and Best Song of the Year. It's a very entertaining motion picture, and friends, we may have a few surprises for you on Monday, August the 3rd, because I think that there might be a few people from the who would have been in the cast of this show on stage at the historic Wayne Theater, who may be joining us for some very special moments. So please plan to join us on Monday, August the 3rd for a very entertaining motion picture, Little Shop of Horrors. Until we meet again, this is your host and fellow film fan Jimmy Overton saying, make it a double feature. Take care, my friends, and thank you.